Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
We are living in a time of dime store promises, half measures outlasting human dignity. Society's supposed saviors salaciously play spin doctor with citizens as anti-fascist blowhards project soapbox diatribes. They are bleeding and breathless, seething with hate-mongering, yet unable to propose solutions, joining a one-note choir that kills arrangement, time, and rhythm. They set their phasers to stun instead of kill, directing their animosity at the same tired targets. These are not community-oriented folk, for as facades beckon and their fists clench with regressive criticism of powers that be, mom and pop shops close, falling victim to skyrocketing rent and gentrification. We are existing with cents on the dollar aptitudes. Technology tighten around our throats, noosed without the precision of needlepoint. Maybe these glorifying critics ought to crawl back into their holes and disappear into the shadows from whence they came, instead of playing the blame game ad nauseum. A gigantic circle jerk, only no one's getting any pleasure. It all comes to a frothy boil when someone is pushed to their limits, when the browbeating, the name-calling, the pigeonholing, rage manifests, overflows. A once normally adjusted person suddenly implodes, as if a meteor crash landed on Earth, utter devastation. Onlookers will jeer. Other people in the vicinity will get trampled. Safety becomes a priority, and that person becomes the number one public enemy. He is overcome with a hate in heart. It has blinded his once cool composure that gets composted. Adrenaline augments his body. He feels flights of superhuman grandiosity, but it's never long lasting. It goes out with a whimper like he does. As a bullet exits a chamber to put him down before he causes any more damage to a populace that's solely responsible for his unwieldy mental state. He is now a shriveled remnant of the jolly good Samaritan. He no longer greets his neighbors or shines his shoes for work. This is no longer his Truman Show, but he'll always be observed, studied for generations. Life is the sum of your choices. As intersecting timelines twist like anacondas, outcomes are delivered. Vibrations that reverberate outward, expanding over a continuum. Existential dread rears the ugliest of Medusa heads. Chop off one, another might regrow, more ferocious and callous than ever. Petrified stare is a sharpshooter to a petulant man-child. Aggravated assault grips a sweat-soaked nation. Protests enliven the hidden rebel within us all. We are not shackled to the rot of complacency as sparks ferment the oncoming blaze. Don't shield your child's vision from the terror. They need to witness the hard-won battles that their parents fought, sometimes bled for. Aftermath of the entangled spiderweb. Pitch a tent against the hostility as the acidic rain blankets the environment and pelts the structural integrity of witness. Together, may we form a bastion of strength, innumerable to the insurmountable odds. Maybe the foreboding will be like a relic of the past, something that will remain undiscovered, like hidden sarcophagi. That's that one. Should I do one more, or is that it?
I was gonna say, usually we
three's
would do
enough.
usually we do three pieces to kick off the show, and we have
Yeah,
an
I figured,
encore
okay.
at the end.
Right.
But I wanted to take a consensus from the crowd. How are y'all feeling for one more piece? I'm flexible as fuck.
Go poet.
One more.
With my discretion, my good sir, you can kick one more, and then we'll have an encore. of no more than 3 afterwards. And
All
also
right.
got a fun little offer for you after the show. More on
Okay.
that later.
Okay, cool. This one is a little dark, but I'll do it anyway. It's called An Offering to an After Future. My synapses crackle with the thought of impending doom. A shroud connects the dots to my psyche. Lamenting on a stiff bed of nails, feet slathered in molten hot coals. For I demand a release from this captive mind. My secret, unadvertised illness frequently gets the better of me. Anxiety creeps, mania surges, the depths of my frustrations permeate. Entering group therapy has proven beneficial, cathartic even. Sands of time drained from the hourglass. If only I had 15 extra years to take back the lost ones, redefining my trajectory with arms wide open. Trauma was a real gut punch, leaving me winded. My heart might freeze over as a glacial tundra do. Bitterness from misplaced decisions haunt my waking life, finding myself crucified by them as onlookers parade my corpse around like a party favor.
My doctor says we mustn't let depression stay beckoning from my bed. Shouldn't slip into somnolent complacency and let her dream my days away. He always asks me if I feel better from the last time we did this. A quick survey of the disposition of thousands of variables, and I'm just going to say what comes into my head. He'll nod because he really does care and ask if I have the same pharmacy. New pills come marching in to join the old in my daily dose. All my side effects are twirling round on their broken axes, drugs doing the damage instead of the storm. Sometimes we have to submit to brutality to be healed and brutalize ourselves in the process. Some days she sits on my shoulder, whispering her dark interpretations, dire implications, unholy expectations, echoing walls that never stayed the same for long, and childhood beds that were never home. My friend points at her perch from time to time and asks me if it's empty. I'll nod because I don't want him to worry, but she giggles when I lie. Lying beside me later, eyes locked like lovers, fingers interlaced, she sings her lullaby, a siren song for a man who never sails, some nobody spitting loneliness, slipping away on the underside of the sheep I keep counting in between these verses. I dreamt my doctor flew me out over mountain lakes, passing between peaks, swooping low and suddenly swerving, we plummeted towards the water. Final thoughts flashed, but the crash didn't come. And I woke amongst the debris of a day that hasn't even started yet.
When I cannot breathe and my chest becomes an elephant's most comfortable seat, the emergency room says labored breathing is still, in fact, breathing and sends me home. At the follow-up appointment, the doctor says maybe an inhaler will help, or maybe losing weight, or maybe I ask, what is causing this? The doctor says it is not always easy to diagnose, so they treat the symptoms instead, throw an arrow at a map and hope it hits. Healthcare in America is a joke. Medicine is the best laughter. I think I may enjoy a comedic break, but my doctor is not a stand up guy, so when I take the pills he hands me, I end up hospitalized again. We do this for weeks until it is no longer funny, choosing between swallowing pills and mortality, hoping one stops the other. At this point, I do not care which. Impending death is a hard pill to swallow. But if you must, I beg you laugh at my funeral. I will be rolling in my grave anyway, a dead jester, dark humor, twist my words, and I'll pop up like a jack in the box. This country has been playing with my life, rolling the dice with my health. If you shake a pill bottle, it sounds like my bones rattling in a casket during an earthquake. It might sound like music to the wrong ears, but medicine is the best laughter. And I've been cracking up, crashing out. Call me crazy, but maybe this country is the biggest joke.
I remember the scent of our love, sun-drenched and sweet. We drove it everywhere, top down, passion fire streaming from my hair. Our hearts shone in our smiles. 1,000-watt candle power sheathed in shades under the beaming approbation of the sun. No qualm could exist in that heat. There was no reason to fear the universe when it had given us the gift of cosmic alignment, cast us in precious metals. We were silver and gold, ore-limbed in a copper glow. Our love was fated, a tale told in fables. We broke the mold, rearranged the periodic table. The alchemy of the merging of our destinies spawned a new element. Two noble gases reformed into a heavy metal, strong and stable. It was so incredibly beautiful to live in that flow. And the foundation crumbled. How could I have foreseen what was to come? So enraptured with you, my ears were deaf to the rumble of discontent. Our love had been sublime with the scent of Buddha fruit and honeysuckle, now gone rancid and sour, turned to lie and ashes, and I was lost. It wasn't 100 years long, but I finally awakened from the deep. I disappeared into the cavern of that place where I waited in stasis for you to change. And I floated boundaryless in grief sleep, wishing I could return to the age when our love reigned. And I knew that one day I would bear your name. I am awake now, and I no longer grieve for your presence. I no longer wish for your heart beside mine to be my manna from heaven. It took me so long to finally understand that we were not meant to be together. You were not meant to be my man. We were the brief layover as we changed trajectories on our respective cosmic flights. I didn't want to need to let go, but my spirit was losing its light, and so you're gone. The room where we loved is dark now. It isn't forgotten, but I have finally turned off the light.
The Father of Time lends a strand of his mind to each of his children. It is the currency, mining our lives for the essence of life, emotions, experiences, acquisition for his menagerie. Have you seen his collection of expressions? Time is the currency, a debt taken for granted, and that too will be collected by the Father of Time. No matter the price, he will always pay. Never will there come a moment in time loses hold on the debt he's owed. We spend it chained in an imaginary prison, chasing money, a tender accepted only in our minds, not by the Father of Time. Bending our lives for greenery, not for trees or earthly scenery, the lustful taste of money. We're taught time is money. Some spend it in luxury, many spend it alone. Others spend it in happiness, many spend it in sadness. Few spend it meaningfully. I spend mine in wonder, in love, with family. I'm careful when I collect my memories. I want to make sure my room in his museum has meaning. Sometimes I look up in the sky so we can see eye to eye. I can almost see his face, his whiskers of wisdom, the wrinkles in time. His guidance is written in the stars if we just look up. We got it all wrong. We're forced to believe time is money, but time is the current. See?
I went away, cycled and spiraled and all that shit. And I went to the place where you know about the dirt floor, And I saw you bent over, scratching at your eyes like once before, and I laid there, a virgin to the ward's power. And there was a boy dangling in the corner, and there was you and me, holding out one ET finger as if it would shock the little white pills right out of our mouths, and I wanted to kiss you. Some might think that is weird, deranged, inappropriate, and who cares? No one is watching me smoke all these cigarettes, dreaming of the time you let me give you a foot rub with my cocoa butter lotion. I was a dying lamb. And so, yeah, I went away, and I'm trying to get back to you. I know you're still in the membranes, waiting and watching in the brain cogs. And the meds don't regurgitate. The brownie does not react to the laxative. Demons giggle, so excruciating in my spine they want to suck me marrow and saliva. And the boy, still dangling in the corner. I cut him down, over and over. I swaddle and kiss him. Over and over, I give him a foot rub with my cocoa butter lotion, and I make him mine each day, because I never seem to get any better. I finally know what to say. I'm so scared, but I'll say it anyway. I love you. I love your scars, the horrid steel cage jaws, the messy mental health, the pills, the tries, the fails, the hospital bars, ECT. Sure, bring it on. Nothing can shock me out of this one. The words that fall out in your lap, the ones you can't ever take back. They are the wounds, the dreams. They are precious golden rings in cave. And I am the maker of such translucent gems, like ruby lips, like amethyst veins. I give you my words, my nouns, my run-ons, my verbs, to hold in your mouth like fish eggs. I'll risk the bad debt, paid in cowries, coconuts, and honey. It's nothing new, this fear, but what is fresh, this iridescent trust, this lack of awareness like being 22, this losing of my skin like strip poker, like walking topless on a bar, letting you see my breasts, my thighs, my insecurities. This monster I call me, you'll have to love her. You'll have to consume her. She is an impatient here, too. This is not the type of marriage, love. Marriage is nothing but a black hole of honeydews and honey don'ts. It's a drag. This type is to say I do in death, not until death. There are no don'ts beneath tombstones. The vows are our epitaphs. Trust me, it is so much safer this way when we have nothing left but our flesh to lose. Here lies you and me. We gave each other everything. Swallowed oaths with nothing more than water. Say it with me now. I promise to take your pain, your fevers, if you promise to take of mine. So we shall never fall asunder, nor our hearts be torn apart in kind.
Sad King John would like to say hello. Or Sad King John would like to confess. Sad King John would like to show you the fragments, tell you which elbow did the bumping, and offer to pay generously for the damages. Sad King John would like to stop being so loud. Maybe he's too quiet. Or Sad King John would like to stop saying stupid stuff when he was trying to be nice. What does nice mean anyways? Sad King John would like to sing, but he doesn't. Or Sad King John would like to apologize for how few lines he's written and how often he reads them. Sad King John would like to create something beautiful, or Sad King John would like to smash it to bits. Sad King John would like to forgive himself, but Sad King John knows why they left. Sad King John would like to watch the city lights blink, hear the hum of the cars passing by, and be still Or sad King John would just like to say good night.
Priest presiding over the funeral of my uncle could not help himself with the unnecessary showmanship. Burning that godforsaken incense, cold bed warmer, clanging bothersome to my lungs and psyche. I leaned over to my sister and said, "It doesn't stop with the effing smoke. I'm out of here." Of course, once was not enough, and commenced the banging and stench emanating from pointless, obnoxious ritual. What is he purifying after death? I don't get. My deceased uncle had all his chances of getting into heaven while he lived, and now all the incense in the world could not change his destiny. I promptly exited out the back as soon as I felt the heaviness growing in my lungs. I waited outside. As I waited for the air to clear, out comes the perpetrator of the crime, in his white robes, opening the locks on the doors to widen the pathway that the pallbearers would take with a highly ornate coffin containing the corpse that once contained my uncle. Do they not realize he left the building? I watched with suspicious eyes this purveyor of pomp, and he caught me observing him. And he had the nerve to wink like he was reading my mind in agreement. Once upon a time, my mother once or twice told me to do the right thing. And if people don't like you for it, then it's their problem. Being the bigger person never won me any friends. I'm still waiting to be liked. I guess I'm still doing the right thing instead of fitting in. So I became an addict. This behavior afforded me friends who were addicts like me. Alcohol became my problem. I resonated with addict behavior. I was addicted to alcohol and sex. Sex and alcohol go together like Bloody and Mary. This was my drink, along with lemon drops, Boilermakers, when I was feeling fancy. Tried them all, but did not like the sweet drinks, cause head hangover, the bowl, puking guts out was not my thing. Knowing my limit came later, when knowing how to close the bar with my favorite bartender became my thing. The thing is, I'm married to an addict now. That I've been sober for 18 years, and all I want to do is run away. What is the right thing to do now, if it is not right for me?
They have never solved a murder where I'm from. It's like everybody knows, but nobody cares. When a cop kills a black man, my neighborhood rushes to the streets, candlelight vigils and airbrush teas. Fists raised, no justice, no peace. But my cousin is killed, and his blood runs cold on pavement, and the neighborhood closes its doors. They gossip about who did it, but they won't snitch. And the cycle will repeat because revenge is the only form of justice we know. The way we repurpose everything. It is why we still wear chains around our neck and wrists and call ourselves free. Pretend our pain is expensive. We call each other nigga and try to gatekeep our trauma like it makes sense. Like a rose by any other name ain't just as black. When I die, I want to leave a mark and not a chalk outline. I want the hood to say my name and name a street after me in the same hood and let it be its own piece of heaven. No liquor stores, no pawn shops, just a library of banned books and forgotten titles. But don't let my blood soak into the ground. Replace it with all this ink and call it poetic justice.
A plum tree, my favorite tree, left of the driveway and atop a small hill, at the bottom of a bank upon which the lawnmower tried but failed to exert its will at my grandma's house. A throne chair for me, with a vista below, too big to be a yard, too small to be a field, perfect but for its lack of horse. I sat and dreamed, queen of my arboreal throne, and planned fantasy fencing to hold a pony of my own in that squatty little tree with funny little angles and rough gray-brown bark that scraped my legs when I dangled, ensconced. I was safe. Quiet gray winters, Mom and I would arrive dodging puddles in the drive as I strained upwards to see my tree, where it stood shivering in the chill without the grace of its leaves, waiting bare-branched for the caress of the sun that was months away from giving such grace. Early spring Easter eggs hid in gnarled notches for my small hands to find, O worthy tree, to provide for me such delight, and a safe harbor for the fruits of Grandma's chicken's labors. Late spring winds blew down lofty pines, and after the bluster and the soggy silence, in light still tinged blue from winter's end, I would think to myself, not much longer. April's showers dried into May, and so arrived the sweet shyness of plum flower lace. I could sit for hours in its rough embrace, where the grass grew in thick, soft and emerald green, with tiny purple violets painted by fairies just for me to turn into bouquets of whimsy, still dreaming of a pony, while honeybees tended my tree, until the sun arrived in full regalia and ready to be admired. Up into my perch in July's sullen heat, hands too tender for the rough bark, purple imprints in palms and tree barks scraped my arms and legs with impunity, but I was determined to sit in my tree, with its lacy covering of pale green algae, rough and ruffled, tiny brown sticklets poking from its surface here and there like Grandma's wild, stiff chin hairs, Princess Plum in my airy with a sticky mouth and fingers in the casual shade of a giant pin oak, feasting on fruit with its golden sweet flesh. Even the yellow jackets ceded primacy to me in that place. And finally, the buffet for child and insect at an end. Nature fed her children with the overripe dividends of the plum's bounty, fermenting orbs of decaying sweet melting into the earth, a graveyard of plums to mark the end of the juicy debauchery of summer. And burnished leaves brought rest, the end of the season. My plum gone to sleep for a while, until I could sit and dream in my tree again.
A paper, oh, it's from a prompt called The Unseen. You were supposed to write about the unseen. Torin has a workshop on Sundays sometimes, and that's where I got the prompt from. So here we go. A paper is never just something to crumple up or discard. It's never just drawing or writing. It's always a story of life and death. When I see a barren tree, the bones in my fingers turn to whining dogs salivating at the mouth. The biome in my gut starts to howl. Salvation is but a pencil away. How does the saying go again? Something about loose leaves sink trees? I don't want to be the kind of loose leaf that suicides. I want to be the kind of loose leaf that started as a tree and refused to die only to live on in the loose leaves. Have people graffiti my body with their pain and call it an emergency room or therapy. Doctors and nurses and surgeons who stitch the wounds killing us from the inside. It's never just a blank document laying on a desk. Sometimes it's a battlefield between lead and rubber, between thoughts rushing to be tangible and erasers hell-bent on making dreams disappear. Every night, my name is Jacob, wrestling doubt into a full Nelson, and it's always a draw, which is to say I find Genesis in my pencils, a maternity ward between these fingers, a morgue between these white sheets. It's never just a notebook or a pen. It's always a church. The first time I believed in God is when I held a pencil, held mass in my sketchbook. I like to draw pictures 1,000 words at a time. I write the type of poems that bodies look for life in, poems that can only be read on an empty stomach. There's a kitchen in my diary and a pantry in my pen, but somehow I'm always starving. I'm a glutton for trees, so when it comes to paper and pen, it's never just writing.
It was just yesterday the U.S. Senate tabled a new law to readmit tree lynchings, as if the call to end the life of guilty defendants aren't brutal enough. I guess there isn't adequate suffering distributed through the veins of a lethal injection nor is there sufficient power enforced in a life recalled sentencing of an electric chair. There may not be enough see it coming imposed through the firing squad's barrels to be satisfactory for an overseer to feel accomplished in his duty to take out a convicted felon, because the state Senate have taken their gloves off. They've unmasked themselves in a hooded removal, taking their stance in seats across from each other and gabbled their fists in terms of agreement, a plea to redefine their aim, and having a man or woman hang until the last of their breaths are strangled from out of their reflex body. A lynching in front of an anticipating crowd has been their aspiration. The idea of such a cruelly issued punishment is evident of how much they've missed their picnics, and through lawful incrimination, they come to gather once again. This is a conversation, waving under their noses, a table discussion amongst racist lawmakers, a write-up that someone took the time to put together, while a magnitude of brown-skinned people have the audacity to pride themselves as so-called niggas. A clear utilization of a defamation suffocating our heritage in its sleep. Have we forgotten how hard their lives have been? How they fought the tyrants who pegged them in name behind fire hoses, dogs, and gunmen, disrespecting the genius of us because of our mahogany skin. I can see their shadows in the wood grain faucet, tilting their heads to rinse ours again, faces in the asphalt with their arms crossed over, silhouettes in sheetrock of our ancestors, people popping out of plaster, poking their lips out, expressions of disappointment for how we've carried on. I could damn near hear their voices calling out, scolding the back like grandparenting. Ida B. Wells, Mary Church Terrell, Benjamin Banneker, W.E.B. Du Bois, Angela Davis, Thurgood Marshall, Rosa Parks, Marcus Garvey, Desmond Tutu, Asada Shakur, Afina Shakur, Bobby Seale, Stokely Carmichael, Mamiya Abu-Jamal, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Dick Gregory, Black activists telling us like it is. You haven't earned the right to disrespect yourself. Out here taking this life in vain. You don't even have their permission to die today until you fight for something worth more than the right to call yourself a nigger.
I love your rush. Stop trying to blow out the trick candles in my opera house. Stop with the I need to stop with my stop sign smile. Stop speeding through the school zones of my childish maze. Stop road raging against self-love, saying I'm tired of you questioning my intentions. I love the rush. So stop tailgating your washed up wishes with dirty dishes in karma's kitchen sink. Stop leaving all of your filthy, forgive me, fucked up past dirty laundry in her washing machine mouth. Stop letting fashionable straitjackets wrap their "it's okay, I expected you to run away anyway" arms around you. Stop taking your straitjacket joints into pawn shops just to see how much an honest word and a holy Bible and 2 honest hugs are worth. I love you're the rush. And I am shitty tap water 4 seconds away from being turned into wine. I'm a choke backwards chased with the shot of swallow someone else's pride. A water into wine. Angry, alcoholic, drunk, angel picking, sloppy fist fights with lowercase gods. I am a let me borrow a buck beautiful. I need to pay my low self-esteem to do something better with this life. I'm a hardly sober lifetime screaming at the DJs mixing on the ones and twos in heaven to play my favorite love song. My favorite love song sounds like the filaments in the flock of fireflies all being turned on at once. My favorite love song was written by Mother Marianne, produced by Mary Magdalene. My favorite love song when sung in Spanish is entitled Hijo de Puta. Life left my leftover love me love handle hands holding closed caption coping mechanisms way too fucking tight. Y'all, please pray that God heightens my sixth senses. I don't want to fall in love with someone else's Achilles heel tonight. Disobedient, even in the face of death. Definitively defiant. I don't play with a full deck. Knowing Grim Reapers by their nicknames is how I showed them signs of respect. You hijo de puta.
Soft-boiled eggs, you have a way of scrambling my brains that leaves me begging for more, like the whore that I am for you. Oh, because of you. Chansey's been considered a value Pokemon to have. I'll never go hungry when Chansey uses soft-boiled. It's super effective. Imagine being able to farm and mass-produce Chanseys and send them to areas of the world that need food and sustenance. That'd be one cool way to combat world hunger if Pokemon were real. But I digress. I don't want you seeing bee drills around. The 8 minutes it takes to formulate your sexy ass in a roaring boil pales into comparison to the hours of laughter you bring to me and the comical suffering of my enemies. The way you ooze that food porn from your bodies brings up the savage in me. Oh yeah! I'm unjustifiably in position I rather don't want to be in. But I'd rather die of exhaustion than die of starvation, yeah! With that said, I've got lust in my eyes, and I'm hungry, yeah! Oh, soft-boiled eggs, every time we tangle, you're more electrifying and satisfying than a time before. Soft-boiled eggs, you're more seductive than sex. Dripping wet golden dreams from your insides, enticing my insides with an unrivaled hunger that adores the power of entire galaxies, yeah. There's a shiver that runs down my spine every time I pick you up and guide you to your demise. Wake, egg, white yolk, and drippage, yeah. I close my mouth in your torments and my satisfaction begins, yeah. Satisfaction, brought to you by soft-boiled eggs. You're the cream of the crop, yeah. But just when you thought I've had enough of you, I'm not finished with you by a long shot, yeah. Snap it to a soft-boiled, oh yeah. Oh, Crab Rangoon, you fill me up with your fulfillment when you're filling face plants onto a field of my taste buds. Every time I have you inside my oral cavern, I cannot help but once to crush you with my stalagmite teeth and swallow you into my abyss while I enjoy feeling you disintegrate slowly under my pressure as you slide all the way down to the pit of my being. Oh, Crab Rangoon, you perfectly highly addictive yet perfectly illegal, legal drug. And yes, I said legal. And yes, I said drug. Have you ever eaten one and not feel dopamine and serotonin through every mini vessel in your being with the utmost sense of culinary nirvana? Oh, Crab Rangoon, you are the Asian equivalents to Pringles. Once you pop, you can't stop. In life, there should be only two universal defining periods: life before and after accepting Crab Rangoon as your Lord, Savior, and demigod. Oh, Crab Rangoon, you miracle of life. If you were made in your original pure form, the pharmaceuticals industry would cease to exist because you cure all. I'll never forget that one time I had that stomach ache, and you with your crunchy exterior and your cheesy, creamy, crabby holiness. Oh, Crab Rangoon, you are the body of Christ. Your healing powers influenced me to start an underground street fighting club called Crab Rangoon Club. Ironically so, and the first rule of Crab Rangoon Club is that we definitely talk about Crab Rangoon Club. Oh, Crab Rangoon, the joy and despair of all. How they rewrote the history books. You, Crab Rangoon, every 80s power ballad and 70s adult film was inspired by you in some weird way, by your rich sexual white chocolate. Oh, Crab Rangoon, I'm a goon for you. Always have and always will.
Poetry is for the birds.
For the bird wrongfully caged in Sing Sing prison who still sings.
For the hummingbird who enriched the world's ecosystem by using its God-given talents.
For the raven, some quoted no more after she came out as lesbian.
For the cunning, streetwise pigeon who will take your buttered bagel by force as a means of survival.
For the round robins with body dysmorphia who get shamed by Batman.
For the penguin who insulated himself in isolation after defending his family.
Oh, I tell you, poetry is for the birds, for freeing two, instead of killing them with one stone, while Prince sings.
For when doves cry, onlookers stir, mesmerized by cacophony. For when the blue jay squawks, a Canadian ball player hits a home run.
For Red Bull shit, for energy, poets drink up on stage, it gives you wings.
The same song with different beaks, the feather in a mic drop moment.
The feather, the feather, feather. If you remove the letters that spell earth, all that remains is F-E. Symbol for irony, we sharpen each other gently, toughen skin under our plumage.
Forming a trifecta of physical power, keen senses and majesty that combine locking Voltron parts.
Because there is no safety in numbers that count bodies and crow over murder, we flock together.
Flocks fortuitously form the focal point of the world conversation, brandishing our lyrical gifts to weave conjoined stories that act as change agents.
Change, come, let us flock. Freedom, lyric, optimist, cipher, Kendrick.
Blocks rhythmically recuperate the untimely earth through valiant verse, healing the solar plexus, nullifying cancer cells.
Nullifying cancer cells, I tell you, the second coming of the Lord named Audrey is coming. The second coming of the Lord named Audrey is coming. So let us flock. Fire, liberation, ode, community, kaleidoscope.
Blocks ignite the tiki torch that translates into re-energizing a reawakening.
Wake up, and tell me, what kind of flock are you?
A weight,
A pride,
a flamboyance,
a congress,
a charm,
a congregation,
a gang,
a party,
a tribe,
a pandemonium,
a band,
a squadron,
a lamentation,
a bouquet,
an exaltation.
an unkindness.
Are you a litany for survival instinct?
Are you a mixed metaphor?
A clan no one can badger?
May she be damned! Scream! Phoenix forever!
Shaolin Isle ain't nothing to flock with.
Shaolin Isle ain't nothing to flock with! I tell you, Wu-Tang may be for the children, but poetry,
Poetry is for the birds.
that shit is for the birds.
Please wish me well as I embark on my journey through life. Please support my trajectory no matter what I decide to choose, as long as it's advantageous. Please declare your love for me when I ripen into a man evolving from a single carbon molecule. Please pray for me when the going gets tough, when life might beat me, as your well wishes enable me to not submit. Please relish my company, toasting my achievements, and being there while I may fail or stray from my flock. Please prevent me from giving into base, worse instincts as I synthesize the world around me. Please only aid in my evolution, not my devolution, deterring my involution, for I don't want to explode, but if I do, I'll let the light in. Please nurture my growth from a precocious seedling into a developed man, warts and all. Please provide the intimacy I'll require to get me through the darkest of hours, as I'll need that in my times of need and during my storied triumphs. Please never lower and debase me, talk down to me, distract and impugn my progress. Cut me off at the knees as I learn to take my first strides. Please see to it that I walk before I run, that I scale ascendant cliffs, mountainous ranges becoming my homestead. Please never admonish me unnecessarily, wave a judgmental finger, poke and prod me until I secrete tears brought on by unrepentant scorn. Please, friends and loved ones, always try and be the beacon of hope. I'll need to draw residual energy when my stores are depleted. With these prayers, I will always go forward until I reach my expiry, as my soul combines with the ether and my life cycle begins anew. Missiles and warplanes eviscerate this once thriving nation. Capitulation to bureaucrats has resulted in untold casualty. I'm on the front lines of this battle, a former member of bureaucracy with an axe to grind against a corrupt administration, thrown under the bus for not completely fitting in. What is normalcy? What is clemency? For carotid arteries thickened from fast food intake, gastrointestinal problems surface, diarrhea and nausea act as first-line defenses against a failing body, corroding, drain pipes leak, putrid swill, while Capitol Hill lacks capital. Economy in free fall, akin to a jumper without a parachute, misguided targets, tactical assimilation, resistance, futile? Will there be no greater judgment? Carving out a home in a place that never wanted you, chastised and castrated, neutered beyond the organ. For as the piano concerto thumps, the maestro leaps to his feet, waves his hands, carrying the notes to their emotional conclusion. Dialed into insecurity, martyrdom, convulsing body dangling, swinging, gyrating, crematorium a few doors down, naysayers attempt to demolish spirit, self-worth takes its cavernous plunge, mediocrity commonplace, superiority diamond, rough world of bending over backwards for those too sloth-like to wipe their own asses, taste molasses, invigorating lost souls, orchestration slow dances, divergent pathways, insipid as a return to sender. I need to soundproof noise, echoing vibrato, vacuum of submerging quicksand without illumination, heartbeat slows to a dithering stutter, while mother in the next room has me spinning plates. I look peaked, malnourished, dehydrated, too facile to command my own attention. In waking hours, autopilot engages as nightmares become contingent on day-to-day experiences. Remember my name. Remember my name. Remember my name, don't say it in vain, don't say it in vain. Dewdrops glisten cobblestone pathways. Wayfarers seek asylum from geopolitical animosities. Cabinets filled with curiosities, torn in between aligned communities, desperate for fulfillment, not displacement, cracks falling through, unsteady feet. There's never a neat solution as we search for, sought after, absolution.